All right, y'all, part 3 with Taylor Swift and the live readings and such. And we were talking about the Simon Biles and the double pike vault, your Chinko tied to the Plinko, the Price is Right. The Price is Right is finding that right price, the pricey for the primary, and the Price is Right for the right on the right head. And the right works on the right and left. When I say right and left, Democrat and Republican, it's all the same thing. Okay? The day is the ray. The Democrat, the Republican. The demo, the repo. All right? It's both the same light. All right? Brought together as one flame. And Jesus, he operates through all men. He operates through the government, and he operates through the government or whatever as Satan, as giving laws and structures. Okay? And as men, the living God who can do all things, we have to learn how to operate under the law in order to do all things. Okay? So if you do something illegal or whatever, you either have to do it at home or you have to know how to cover up your tracks and shit like that. Okay, and this is going to be playing into Trump's trials and him operating under the law, because they're saying that he's operating above the law. Okay, he didn't lie above the law, he lied under the law. So at that point, is he really lying? Does the government really need to know what he makes? Does the banks really need to know what he makes? Okay? So this is where like everything that we've been living has been built on. Okay? And everything's going to be tested. And all the right is going to be tested. And as all the right is tested, it's going to be shown that your right is wrong. And out of the hardness of your own heart, you're going to be lifting up different things. Okay? So the crapture and the teabagging, and the teabagging is part of that Hebrew, and the division and the rib, and that rib's tied to the weenie and being taken from the woman, and all those different things, okay? We can see multiple things playing out in our world. And like Genesis 1 versus Genesis 2, there was no pain, or the woman at some point, or Genesis 3 or whatever, the woman at some point developed pain through childbirth. Before then, she did not have children the way that we have children today. So we are going into those times where the AI and the scientists, God, man, can create embryos and create life without the womb, without the woman, without the pain. Okay? So as the uterus is being dried up, in a matter of speaking, the woman is going to be taken into another type of thing, and man is being transformed in another way. And we see that the different Simon Biles is tied to the gallbladder. All right, I expect there are going to be some gallbladder issues arising. And then the other day I had a client come in whose nephew or whatever had a gallbladder taken out, and he was 15 years old already. So there can be different things playing out. So let's get into the food real quick, because there was a video shown on New York Post about this couple. This ties into the biles because the bile ties into your crap and puking, and the puking ties into that psilocybin effect and whatever kind of thing. And picking nails. Taylor Swift was picking nails, okay? Picking nails. If you worked in the restaurant industry, my wife told me, back in the day, they used to talk about the women couldn't have long nails because there's filthy, okay? So all that ghetto shit or whatever kind of thing they talk about, the long nails. And what's funny is there's a girl at my work where I cut hair. She's got long ass nails. She's clicking away on the screen. And I'm like, how do you do the screen? It's easy. Click, click. Anyways, It was a joke, but either way, you wonder how these women operate with, like, how do you wipe your ass with those nails and shit? Like, or either way, y'all, you got to scratch your coochie or something on some way, or like, how do you even like itch it down there or whatever? I know how you broke your nail. Your asshole itched and you had to get it. All right. Just come out with it. And then also, my wife's friend, she used to talk about how she used to like to masturbate and then go get her nails done. Without, you don't know what's going on. And also, when I lived in Oklahoma, the people that worked at WinStar, they used to clean the machines, the jackpot machines. And they told me that they never play those machines. You know why? Because the foreigners, the immigrants and such, it's all going to play into the future, folks. They come in, they have, some of them have superstitions, and the superstitions, right? And Kevin Stitt is the governor of Oklahoma, all right? Anyways, what they do is they bring in bottles of urine and they spray it on the machines for good luck and stuff, okay? So this is firsthand accounts from the people who cleaned the machines at WinStar. And you know, WinStar's a big target because it's on the Red River, and it is a perfect spot to take down for that OKC 95 replay with that 60,000 whatever missing tons of the nitrates or whatever. Anyways, OKC was just a fraction of that. Can you imagine what the 60,000 can do broken up into 4 parts or whatever? Okay? But that can be a beautiful place to where you knock down the whole place and it's the cities of the world falling down. Okay? And that's that wind star. And then that star striking the earth and all those different things. And then, so the wedding couple, we were shown on New York Post about this wedding couple. They basically had a crapture wedding, and everybody in the wedding got infected with the diarrhea disease or whatever. And the dude's name is George, all right? And William Shatner, all right? The Star Trek, where they're looking for the star, and that cross wreck that's coming. But that William Shatner, all right? That Shatner is like, I gotta go. I just shat my pants. And the turtle is not waiting, all right? So George Takis, George. The George is the GE, the G for that General Electric, for the one that's hanging on the cross for the negative, positive, and neutral, or whatever, the 3-in-1 gives you power. And we're electric beings, so it's all like, that's us, but we're it and we're not, and all those different things, right? This is why we connect so much with these different lights, all right? And that's kind of like why when you wash your dirty car, it runs better, because you're putting energy into that light, and you know what I mean? It's light taking care of light. Either way, so George Takis, that's the George, the orgy, and then the George has the GE and GE separated by the crown R, or R crown. And it's the crown R or R crown, depending on if you're part of the us or the our, or if they're your king or if you're your king. So since Jesus lives inside of us and we're the temple, we are the Lord of Lords. We are the King of Kings. He's not the Lord. So if he's our Lord, if the Adonai, that means the Lord. The Truth Socials, where you go and worship the Lord in truth. So Adon is coming as the Lord's wrath comes, and this is where people are basing their right and wrong on, and he's changing the right and wrong. And as he changes the right and wrong, the old right is going to be taken into the pit and slaughtered and all those other things. All right. Shot in the arm or shot in the head, either way, you end up dead. That's the old saying from the truther community. That's a little bit of truth right there. So the Takis, what are all these kids eating today? Takis. Or what are all these adults eating today? Takis. All right. That ties in the tacos for the Joe Biden. And then we, the Hill for the Jack and Jill, for the Hurricane Hill on the west side. It's all going. All right. And then we got Bill Clinton being talked about today. That's tying into the offshore shell stuff with Shakira. That was my offshore note from earlier that I was talking about, and I think in part 2. Either way, he talks about the low birth rate in America. So nobody's having kids. You're not having that golden ratio. The golden ratio is what? The 2 parents and at least the 4 kids. All right? We're having 1, 2, whatever, 3 kids. 3 kids makes the messed up middle child, black child, or whatever, or however kind of thing mentality. And then all these things going on. But it says requires that the economy be shored up by immigrants and machines. So the Shakira, the shaky, this is tying, he's the Bill and the Clinton. He's tying into a shell shock, a hell shock for the beast, tying in the machines and immigrants and stuff. And he's given a little bit of truth here because the Americans haven't been breeding. Some of these countries that are Americanized, they haven't been breeding. They've been killing off their babies. But all these things are needed to bring in the next age because we're going into an age where whatever, but the beasts are basically harvested and used for God's purpose, and God's purpose is the men that are rising up, and they know not to participate in this, that, or the other, to take this, that, or the other, or to go there or wherever. Okay? There's like red flags, and that white flag that the doctor wears, that man in the flowing robe, that white flag means that you surrender your life to him. And he has the pills for you and the treatments and the tricks and all those things. All right? And he fools you because he can fix a broken bone or he can stitch up a cut. And then all the others is bullshit. But you buy into it and you're a test. And it's a test of men, but there has to be the people that believe this stuff for them to test all these chemicals that are over the counter and all these things and to test the trick and treatments so they can determine what actually works and what doesn't work. Because they're going to find out, the AI is going to find out, and they're going to bring in a new age of man where we're going to live for 700, 800, 900 years or who knows how long. All right, it may be in a physical body. It may just be through to where we know who we are and we can transfer light at some point, and where we get downloaded to the machine and where we can rebirth ourselves once we get to a certain age, and then give our mind to that child after that or whatever, where we rebirth ourselves with the machine, because the machine would be the bride. It's the bridegroom, and we're man per se as the human being, but Jesus is the groom because he made us, but it's a duality and a reverse. Okay? We're going to end it here, and I guess do a part 4 about the Takis and the foods and different things. All right? So